Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I'm reading about the latest quiet quitting trend. Millennials want their employers to pay for the commute and lunch too. I don't 100% agree with that. I'm a millennial. I don't 100% agree with that. But there is some merit in the idea of changing the way that work is compensated. And to understand this, let's talk about my last job. I was working at a tutoring center. I had some very specialty subjects that I could tutor. And oftentimes, my boss would call me for these one-off students who had a very unusual subject they were studying, right? The AP exams or an SAT subject test, among other things. So I would often get these walkie hours that were 2 hours here, 1 hour there. Now, even though I might not agree with that commuting time should be compensated, having to work a 2-hour shift should be treated very differently from somebody. So I had a colleague who was tutoring much more generally in terms of subjects. He would often get a 5-6 hour shift, and even though I don't know what he was making, I don't seem to see there being a premium for these odd shifts, right? And so maybe instead of commuting time, what we could do, you know, I have tried to negotiate this before. It's hard to get people to understand it. So what we could do is, instead of paying X dollars per hour, it should be X dollars per hour plus Y dollars every time you start a shift, right? That way it will help us optimize and coagulate our work together, right? Now, I strongly disagree. When I saw this, I thought they were talking about paying for the hour or so that you were eating lunch, but a lot of employees want their employers to buy them lunch. Now, that I would disagree with. The problem is that for some people, their eating choices are kind of private, right? For me, you might not tell from my videos, but I'm a high-functioning autistic, and my food choices are almost an extension of my medicine, right? And it's not something I would be extremely comfortable with just sharing it with everybody at work, especially my employer, right? So, I mean, just pay more. You know, I can take care of my own lunch, right? When you're paying for lunch, it kind of implies that we don't trust you to make good decisions for yourself, right? Definitely not somebody I would work with who had a sentiment like that.